Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1998's short film and I believe first film by the director Sophia Coppola, one of my favorite directors, and this was her first film, about 14-minute short film shot on 16 millimeter, and it is available on the Criterion Virgin Suicides Blu-ray here. And that's where I first heard of it, and that's where I first saw it. Now, supposedly she was working on it right around the time where she started to work on the Virgin Suicides. Now, Sophia Coppola is has made some of my favorite films, or one in particular of my favorite films of all time, which is her film Lost in Translation. And that's a movie that really not only helped change my life, but also kind of connect me in a very kind of visceral way. I can't really describe it, but that movie kind of spoke to me at a certain time. So I don't want to necessarily say it changed everything, but it there was some back and forth happening in a very extreme way, and it impacted me greatly, spoke to me greatly, exactly the place where I was, and so I was extremely excited to see her 1998 short film "Lick the Star." It's called. And we're going to get into this short film here, approximately 14 minutes long, and let's enter into it. You know, first and foremost, you will see with Lick the Star that this film is shot at a real junior high school and really looking like real junior high kids in this film. Shot in black and white, 16 millimeter, and you think to yourself, what can we get done in 14 minutes? What can happen? How many twists? How many conversations? How much art? How much? How many glances? Tension, murderous intent, confusion, ambivalence, pain, feelings of being lost. And you wonder how much can get done in this 14-minute world. And Lick the Star is an entrance, a true reality show of what it's like to be a teenage girl in junior high school. And the music is awesome 90s indie music. We've about, it sounded like 4 or 5 pieces of music in here in a short film. And some of it was bordering on punk, and it was absolutely perfect and perfectly placed. There's ambivalence and anguish and teen angst and teen confusion within the music. It just is perfectly placed. The movie really takes place at the junior high school. I mean, that's where everything is. That's their world. And if you think about it, you think about teenagers, that is their world. And everything that they think about really exists there, whether it be people they like, people they don't like, and when the completion of that world is, when the summer hits. Lick the Star incorporates elements of kind of inspirations from the story Flowers in the Attic, and what it is to have friends, popularity, sensuality, sexiness, beauty, racism, the communication or lack thereof of teenagers, the world of academics in a teenager's life, and how that links to their communication and to their relationships. being in a group, what it means to be in a group, what it means to have friends, um, hatred, gender wars, gender issues, lust, desire, the feeling of being wanted. You know, Lick the Star. If you've seen, you know, Virgin Suicides as well, which is a feature that came around the same era, this movie really shows a reality, a reality of teenage girls. And I feel like Sophia Coppola has proven this time and time again in her films. And we see it here with Lick the Star. We see mystery. We see a gang of sorts, a mission. We really see the fact that teenagers represented in Lick the Star and Sophia Coppola's world, teenagers are existing in another world. Now they're in our world, but they're existing in another world within our world. You know, I was thinking about this a little while ago. I was thinking about when I was watching the film Dazed and Confused again by Richard Linklater, and I was thinking, you know, when I was a teenager and I was driving, you know, on roads and acting crazy with my friends and so on and so forth, or going to my friend's house or going here, going there, going to the 7-Eleven, doing whatever. And I started to think to myself, at that point, that was my world. I was not thinking about, you know, adulthood or anything else. But on the road with me were adults in their world, going to their career, picking up their kids from, you know, softball practice, going to their family obligations, going grocery shopping. And I thought to myself, now being in the adult world, I'm sharing the road with human beings who are existing in another world than me, but yet we're still on the same road. And Sophia Coppola's Lick the Star shows you that 14-minute world that adults have no place in whatsoever. Adults are not connected in any way whatsoever. And what is important, what is supreme, what reality is. We have some very, very pitch black humor in Lick the Star. We have very extreme emotions, beautiful, lush cinematography, a bathtub with a character sinking in, a character walking and entering into the movie walking and leaving the movie walking. You're not exactly sure who the lead is, and maybe that changes, and maybe it doesn't. Just because a character talks the most doesn't mean that they're necessarily the lead in the film. Who has the power in the film? Who has the power in the teenage world? Is it the teacher? Is it the parent? Which teenager has the power at your, you know, at your school? You know, Lick the Star reveals things. It has a power teen 90s angst intensity, reminding me of films like Jawbreaker and Heathers and those worlds. But there is an art house realism to this film, an art house quality, a lust, a sensuality with the camera, swimming, water. It's as if when you watch Lick the Star, you are truly entering into a world that maybe you don't belong in. Classrooms, outside the classrooms, next to a tree, what truly exists. Lots of themes in this film. Um, Lots of confusion of sorts. And it's absolutely perfect in that way. All of it is here, from depression to suicidal tendencies to not being heard to being heard incorrectly to racism to standards of beauty in teen girls to friendships and hatred and bullying and interactions with the opposite sex to sexuality and lesbianism. It's all here in Lick the Star, the 1998 short film by Sophia Coppola, which is available, I believe, only on the Virgin Suicides Criterion Edition here, which I picked up a couple months ago. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Lick the Star from 1998. Please feel free to check out all my personal films at youtube.com/poopy, Poopy, diarrhea. And please feel free to check out all my other reviews on this YouTube page spanning many, many worlds that I believe need to be talked about more and that I love. Thank you so much, and good night.